I love this hat. One of my favourites. Bought it last year in Manchester because I lost my other hat. I have a habit of losing hats. I never seem to get them back. But this one, I have managed to keep hold of it for a while. I know it's battered, but it's a nice feeling wearing it. My hats provide me with comfort and sometimes safety because of my male pattern baldness. It eventually became my sign name and I'm stuck with it. In our culture, a sign name is like a special sign that is used to identify a person, just like a name. But it's a lot more bloody interesting. It could be linked to your hobby, job, your name, or even something really sinister. Being given a sign name says something about who you are and gives you an identity which is totally unique amongst your friends. I originally had a sign name, but a deaf friend told me that it means crap man. So she diminished that idea and she suggested the bobble hat sign name, which I have now. You always wear a hat, so your sign name makes perfect sense, and you always fidget with it. I always wear a hat. I always feel confident when I wear my hat. I think people can tell I believe in myself when you have that self-confidence. The world is full of people, and sometimes it's really good to stand out. When I wear my hat, I think I have an advantage. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I feel like an outsider in those large social groups. I'm not really sure what people are saying, losing track of communication. Sometimes I pretend to follow along in conversation with fake laughs and smiles. I get tired of faking my emotions and slowly begin to separate from the group. Then I slowly escape reality completely and immerse myself into a world of my own imagination. But wearing the hat gives me an advantage so that I can feel a bit accepted. It gets people to talk about it. It gives me a sense of normality and sometimes feel a bit connected. My hat is me. It's who I am. It is my identity. If I could be a superhero, I would be Hatman. Some of the best superheroes wear hats. The Lone Ranger, Zorro, Santana, Popeye, and me. I can see Laura walking towards me. What the fuck? We've been together almost 5 years. We met on New Year's Eve. We hit it off immediately. She saw who I am. I'm not just someone that wears hearing aids. Why have you got all of your hats on the washing line? I remember one time when we were out. Drunk we were. Managed to get kicked out of a gig. Not sure what we did, but we didn't care. She sits next to me. She knows that I need some kind of reassurance. What's the matter? There is a photo album next to me. It belongs to my mum. We looked at this photo album a few days ago. It was really nice chatting about stuff, just memories, little things. Have a look at the photo album again. Just really have a look at it. I'm standing behind her, watching her. She slowly flicks through the photo album. I am in a pram. I am feeding the ducks at Road Park. I'm going down the slide in the garden where I grew up. I'm playing football with my brother and my dad. I am posing for the camera. I'm in class with all of my kindergarten friends. I'm sitting on Nanny's lap. I'm jumping up in the air. I'm eating chocolate cake. I am happy. She looks confused. Yeah? There's a nice photo, but we looked at this a few days ago. Remember? Do it again, Laura. She probably now regrets coming out in the garden. Please? I gestured to the washing line. I'm now watching her looking at the photos. I am in a pram. I'm wearing a blue woolly hat. I am feeding the ducks at Road Park, wearing a red bobble hat. I'm going down the slide in the garden where I grew up. I'm wearing a brown hat. I am playing football with my brother and my dad, wearing a Cardiff City hat. I am posing for the camera, still wearing a hat. I'm in a class photo with all of my kindergarten friends, and it looks like I'm the only one wearing a hat. I am sitting on my nanny's lap on a hot sunny day, wearing a hat. I am jumping up in the air, wearing a hat. I am eating chocolate cake with that on my head. I am happy. I'm confused. Laura looks at the washing line. She then looks at me. I know. Okay. So you're wearing hats in the photograph. What's wrong with that? I am Hatman. I am a superhero. I am Hatman. I am Hatman. That is me. It makes me feel free. It's in every fucking photograph. Andrew's not wearing a hat. My brother is not wearing a hat. My dad is not wearing a hat. Look at the last photo. I am the only one wearing a hat. I'm wearing a hat now. Look how many bloody hats I've got. Laura looks straight ahead. She's counting the hats on the washing line. 12 hats. You have a lot. Don't you think it's a bit weird? Strange even? Laura doesn't say anything. Fuck it. I'm going to phone Mum. I thought about this when I got my phone out. I searched for my mum on FaceTime, and just before pressing it, I remember asking her when I was a teenager. Phone is ringing. Why am I deaf? She was driving at the time. She got herself in a state. We almost had a car accident. We never spoke about it again. The phone is still ringing. I'm nervous. Hey! A long pause. I look at Laura, who is sitting next to me holding a photo album. I'm wearing a hat in almost every photograph. Why? I don't get it. I haven't noticed. What is wrong with that? She says. Laura smiles. Are you ashamed? An awkward pause. Maybe I shouldn't have said that to her. I read somewhere that a deaf child creates a feeling of stigma for many hearing parents, and mothers who feel stigma can have a negative impact on a child's development. Is that why I'm wearing hats? So I can feel a bit normal? I'm concerned about how my friends or whoever would react to you. Maybe someone might say something about you and your hearing impairment. God, I fucking hate it when she says that. Hearing impairment. I don't actually want to be fixed. Was I ashamed? Yes, probably. I felt it was my fault. I wanted to give you a better life. I think you did. I tried so hard. I wanted you to fit into society so that you can speak and be accepted. When my mother gets stressed about things, she doesn't stop. She speaks super quick. I'm the same. It stresses me out when my mum is like this. Laura tells me always to bite my tongue, nod my head, and say nothing. My friends and other people, when they are around and about, they are curious when they see you with hearing aids. Remember how big they were back then? I remember. I hated them. Big dangling things. It looked like someone smooched Play-Doh in my ear. Having these in my ears made me feel different. And sometimes I can't help but want to keep them hidden. They probably haven't met a deaf child. I never did before I had you. I wanted them to see that you can cope. So I just talked to you and I wanted to give you confidence. People didn't really notice it when you were wearing hats. I thought it was okay. People got used to seeing you with hats. You never complained. You just got on with it. That is what I liked about you. I just got on with it. Do you remember in school? It was a terrible time for you. You really hated wearing your hearing aids, and it wasn't always fun. I remember you telling me about walking down the corridor and hearing hearing bullies whistling behind you. They were mimicking the sound of the feedback coming from your hearing aid equipment. You hated it. I remember getting verbal abuse, which was linked to my hearing aids and my deaf voice. I thought I spoke pretty well, but I can't remember. I likely didn't quite hear exactly what these jibes were. Okay, Mum, I get it. I hung up. I didn't want to hang up. I wanted to carry on. I wanted more answers. Bite my tongue and say nothing. The red bobble hat. I haven't seen that in ages. She's pointing to it. It's actually quite ugly. Cost me £5.50 from Block Market. It was the hat I was wearing when we first met. We met on my birthday on New Year's Eve 2015. I was on Tinder at the time when Laura sat opposite me, wearing this ugly red bobble hat. She didn't care about the hat. She wanted to know what I was doing. I lied. Said, I was texting a mate. Around midnight, I deleted Tinder from my phone. She was wearing my ugly red bobble hat. A few months later, the ugly red bubble hat made its way to her sister's wedding in Sydney. Her father is wearing it. I've never met him. Everyone is wearing it. It's all over Instagram. What's that one? She pointed to the one on the end of the washing line. It was darkish green with no bubble. I think I've only worn it once. I went on a date. I have been on loads. Was quite a serial dater before I met Laura. She loved my dating stories. Laundrette dates, car boot date, carousel date, car park date. I arranged to meet someone at a pub. I was wearing that hat. She knew my name and saw what I looked like through my profile. Sometimes I tell them I am deaf. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I make the profile photos really obvious so my hearing aids are visible. Sometimes I just have them covered. Should I be judged by my hearing aids? Anyway, we met at the Waterguard pub down the bay. Thought it was a good choice, overlooking the water. She came. She sat in front of me. Didn't seem that nervous. Maybe she's a serial dater like me. I took my hat off and put it on the table. She looked straight at me. Hello, nice to meet you. Can I get you a drink? She's still staring at me, but this time her head is slightly rotated. She's starting to look confused. Her head is now rotating the other way. She is really confused. I love these awkward moments. She says, "Oh, you are deaf. Want a drink then?" She's still perplexed by this. She looks at her watch. She's still looking at her watch. She says, "I think I might go. If I stay another 15 minutes, I will have to pay extra for the car park. I hope you don't mind." I look at her. I smile. I watch her leave. Why did the thought of wearing hearing aids scare people? Is my hearing a statement of aging and weakening, which is strongly negative? She probably thinks you are old, especially if you wear something like that. Hey, check me out. I wear hearing aids and I am old. I put my hat back on. I got drunk by myself. It was actually a good night. I look at Laura. Do you think society views me as a bit stupid, sick or dumb, simply because I sometimes mishear or don't understand what people are saying? Or is it a view that deafness is associated with old age and being a bit past it? You are definitely old and past it now. I haven't seen that brown hat before. That was my uni hat, 1993. They were good years. The drunken days, wild hat days. It had a Kango logo on the side. It was in fashion by the 90s. Grandmaster Flash, Run DMC, LL Cool J, the Notorious B.I.G. legends. A drunken bet was made with my housemate that I would grow my hair until I graduate. Loved my long hair. Mum hated it. Bleached, matted and dreadlocks. Problem is that I have to tell people that I wear hearing aids. I guess most of the students were drunk. My whole nodding thing was just on another level. Nod. Yes. Dunno. Nod. Stellas and spliffs became my saviours. This is the hat I wore at weddings. I pointed to a dark blue fisherman beanie style, which was at the end of the washing line. Yes, I even wore hats at weddings. This one is a favourite. You know I love the attention. It lasts about 10 to 15 minutes, then I slowly disappear through the mist of drunken conversation. For those 15 minutes, I become an entertainer. Mark and Sally's wedding, that was a classic. I walk over to the DJ booth. Can you put on Should I Stay or Should I Go? As soon as the song comes on, I am on the mission. My friends know this. It is my time. That guitar riff starts. Oh, hola! Here it goes. My shoes come off. In the middle of the dance floor. It's followed by others. They know. Darling, you gotta let me know. Should I stay or should I go? I run over to the bride's uncle, who is clocking what is going on. He takes his shoes off. A big roar. People are seeing what is going on. They are loving it. People are dancing around the shoes. The pile of shoes is getting bigger. The groom's granny is reluctant to take her shoes off, but with a little bit of help, she does. A mighty roar. Should I stay or should I go now? Should I stay or should I go now? If I go, there will be trouble. And if I stay, there will be double. So come on and let me know. Should I stay or should I go? Ah, it's beautiful. It's hilarious. Some are trying to jump over the pile of shoes. More rules. The DJ is smiling. I can see people look happy, laughing, doing selfies with a mountain of shoes behind them. I'm still trying to get shoes off. There is always someone who won't take their shoes off. Come on. Do it. Do it. Do it. Slowly it comes off. And yeah. So you gotta let me know, be rookie. Car. Should I stay or should I go? I'll walk over to the pile of shoes and place my wedding hat on the top. Mission completed. Whew, I'm exhausted. Next song. Good times, yeah? I'm looking at the washing line. This is part of me. Hats are part of me. And now part of who I am. Hearing aids are part of me. Speaking is part of me. Why should I change? I have accepted that is who I am. And I think that is okay. I'm comfortable with it. Why does it matter? I have accepted that I am a profoundly deaf man who speaks. I'm okay with that. I also wear hats. I am Hatman. I am Hatman. That is me. It makes me feel free.